Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. We have IOTA on our radar today, IOTA on the exchange. Before we go into the chart, guys, let's take a look at a couple of top line bits of info on this unreal project and certainly one of our favourite bags here in the Whales of Wall Street. So without further ado, let's jump in. First of all, we have a new exchange listing for IOTA, actually announced earlier. I say today, it's now midnight, so yesterday. XT.com, of course, a big exchange, growing and growing by popularity all the time. So XT Exchange will list the IOTA token in the innovation zone, the grayscale, so under IOTA USDT pairing, trading from 2 o'clock on February the 3rd, which was indeed yesterday now. And that probably did have a bit of an impact on the chart, which we will indeed go on to in a moment's time. But that's really good to see some more developments of IOTA getting onto some more powerful exchanges. Of course, we're already on the likes of Binance, the likes of Qcoin as well. So the list continues to grow for these guys for sure. And then finally, one last point before we go into the chart, because loads of videos to do in the next 24 hours and certainly over the weekend, got a lot of catching up to do for you guys. We've got the Zebra IOTA partnership here, the Zebra IOTA Edge SDK. So very much around development of this project is quite interesting. I've just been looking at the GitHub actually of some of the coding aspects on there and trying to learn a bit more about that. Certainly in terms of the development programs of things, but very much interesting around identity enablers. Okay, so big topics at the moment around DIDs. This is something that we're going to see a lot more of in the near future and moving forward, especially kind of enhanced and perhaps sped forward, if you like, because of the last couple of years. Make of that or what you will. But of course, for many years now, track and trace and bio passports, digital passports, all of these things have been on the radar for some time. But of course, for that to be able to work from the credentials perspective and verification, KYC, KYB, the data privacy, stability, security, all of these things, something that blockchain in general can for sure facilitate. But with IOTA on a completely another level from that tangle mechanism, this takes it to many, many different levels. I remember doing a video a while back about Energy Web, and they were talking about, getting into when the cars are driverless, of course. You see like the scooters and things in cities now. That principle, imagine like having fleets of cars where you're just like, oh, I need to jump in. But you don't... You're not driving the car yourself. You're just using your AI DID algorithm, facial recognition, all this kind of stuff. That's all done on the screen of the car, and you just jump in, you hop in. It takes you to your destination. But in the fact of Tangle, that mechanism of blockchain development, of knowing what you need to do or what you want to do before you probably even know yourself, the fact that it would know where to take you, your comfort settings, all of these things. Quite amazing really. And then when you get into the airport, for example, all your flight and everything's already pre-booked for you, to your behavioral patterns, all of this stuff. But of course then everything digitally, driving license, passports, are all interlaced with each other, so you just walk straight through. And of course this aspect here, they talk about like mobile numbers being like an emphasis of identity now moving forward. But of course with address information like blockchain information of you as a person, this is where I think it's going to become really, really interesting, almost like a quantified, I wouldn't even know what to call this, like quantum tangle, I don't know, but the mechanism of multitude of different IDs in one. You do not have to carry your cards around anymore, your wallets. It's all done through one system. And of course smartphones are just generally a stepping stone, as we know. This will of course transfer across, multiplied into facial recognition, and things like biometrics as well. So really, really interesting to see this. Of course, Zebra is working very hard in the background for the validation and the credentials aspect of what's behind this, and the partnership with IOTA is really, really fascinating here. So I'm really interested to see how this develops. I'm not sure if I can download it yet or not, but it looks like there's some tutorials available, so I'm going to have a go and see if there's some kind of download that I can use to see if this works and what it entails, and I'll certainly do a video about it when I find out more. But I thought I'd bring this to your attention because it's yet another dimension to IOTA and a fantastic partnership for sure. And I'm really interested to see how this further develops. As we said, multitude of different use cases for this indeed, to make things quicker and certainly more secure in most ways as well. So we'll definitely come back to these points at some point in the near future, and I'll certainly do a video if I can find out more information around this particular area. But for the time being, guys, let's jump into the chart. Smash that like button if you like what you hear and see, and do subscribe if you have not done so already. We cover a multitude of projects. Hopefully you are enjoying the videos. I'm not doing as many as I did before due to work commitments and things, but I can assure you this weekend I am going to absolutely blitz it. So let's go without further ado into the recent chart movements of IOTA. Looking comfortable here. I just thought I'd pick out this particular move. I think this is good success so far. Has been helped arguably by the extension up here from the exchange listing on XT. And of course still I think there's been great support of IOTA at these levels, lower regions, because of the staking aspect that is still currently going for the assembly and shimmer tokens, of which I'm continuously adding IOTA to my portfolio. I was very fortunate actually earlier today to grab some more around this 80 cent mark before it shot up near to the $1 mark, but currently floating around 92 cents. We'll look at the performance indicators in more detail in a second, but I thought I'd bring out this nice 35% increase from around about a week or so ago, when we had the real bottom areas, not just on IOTA but many other assets as well, came into our very nice buy area, of which we've been taking great incremental purchases throughout for sure. I was a bit gutted we didn't come down a bit further. I did think we might test some of the lower regions, but this is a great testament to IOTA. It's a great testament to holders and also people very much, I'm sure, getting still involved in the staking. I think there's about 52 days left of that. So if you think you've missed out, you're wrong. You can indeed grab your IOTA, get it onto the Firefly wallet and get staking to get your assembly and shimmer token still for a good another, I don't know, just under 2 months. If you need help or want to know how to do that, you can indeed watch our how to stake IOTA video, which I will leave at the end of this one, for sure, for you guys to check that out. But back to the movements on the chart here. Very interesting. I haven't aligned this fully properly yet, but what's happened here, of course, we had this big drag down on this 21st of January, which is kind of a bit frustrating really, because it's not landed on the significant sort of support areas that we would have expected. I'm just going to pull this down a bit because it's not quite in line. There we go. So, you know, where we had these lower areas in August, and something we tried to bring down here in December as well, but touching back on this point, it just shot straight through across this barrier on the fib retracement on the medium. These smaller fib retracements here are based on the 4-hour chart, which I was looking at earlier, just to give a bit of an idea of where we might go with IOTA now. So we've had the listing, we've had a few people getting involved in rewards. So do we come back? It's going to be quite interesting. So I've got another buy order. Can you believe it? Slightly higher than our previous ones, just around 87 cents in case we have a dip down to this fib level and a slight tail down below that. I know it sounds silly, but I do like the fact of trying to get IOTA for 5 cents cheaper than it currently is. We're seeing maybe a bit of that right now. Of course, we've only just started this candlestick, to be fair. I think in the last 10 minutes. This is based on GMT UTC at the moment. So it's done what I thought it would do, and let's see if that brings us back down here. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, because I think in general the market overall is very boring, if you like, at the moment. It's not really moving. I think there's not enough confidence yet for us to tail up, but it may just drag us back down to these lower regions that we spoke about before, again touching these nice high points that we tried to drag out here, both on the 26th and also just about on the 1st of February as well. So really interested to see that. I'm going to put my, like I said, my buy orders in just under that 88 cent mark, see if we can grab some. But if it does stabilize around this area, I'll for sure be grabbing some anyway. But like I said, I always want to try my best with getting some savings on IOTA. So if we can get that stabilization here, this might put us in a good condition if IOTA do bring out some more great news over these coming weeks to maybe potentially pull us up. That's the only real reason why I see IOTA pulling itself up to these levels towards $1 is by its own doing. I think the market in general at the moment is still touch and go as to what we're trying to achieve, and of course Bitcoin has its emphasis on that as well. And a couple of other pointers here on the RSI. It's going to be a bit skewed today from the big jump up, but in general, what I did like to see on the 31st of January, literally 3 or 4 days ago, we had the switch over. Now I wanted to be a bit cautious because this was quite a significant flip up over the course of 2-3 days, so it wasn't a complete gradual move up. So I just want to be cautious, and that's why I'm thinking just potentially we might drop back down to those areas again, or indeed level ourselves up somewhere around that 87 cents over the next few days. That's just my thoughts and opinions around that at the moment. We had a nice tail up here on the histogram into a nice purchasing pattern. We might see something similar to this, but perhaps not so high. Like I said, I think the general market is not quite ready for that yet. If it does, fantastic, because it means we're all getting some profits finally. But I'm just being a bit cautious on that front, doing a bit of DCA on the up and down. So very much nicely poised here on particularly the 90-day, focusing on 47 at the moment. If I just take it back a couple of days, still 46. So really nice patterned areas, and I quite like that 28-day as well at 43. So if it does drop down back to that 40 mark, I think that's where we'll probably see the 87 cents. They're going to be really nice bite points. But in general, from the longer term aspect, I think the risk of IOTA coming down a lot further is certainly diminishing more and more. Obviously, it depends on what other potential assets do as well in the market. But I'm happy to not go gung-ho and full in for sure, but certainly happy to be really taking some nice significant positions at these current levels. I'm going to wait for it to just settle down a bit after the big boom yesterday, before I start taking some more USDT out of the pocket and into IOTA, and then into my Firefly wallet, of course. But to wrap this video up, guys, let's just take a look at these performance indicators on the right. Very nice to see green on that weekly finally. And these 3 months and 1 month are dragging down slowly, but indeed surely. 6 months is just about sticking in there. So I'm really hoping that February is going to be the start of a mechanism, not just for IOTA, for I'm sure many other assets as well. But hopefully at least a small kick into the forward direction for IOTA. We are down year to date, but we are up still 80% on the year. As you know, I was a bit late to the party with IOTA. I was buying a lot of mine towards the latter stages of last year. Certainly, I think it was around like 70 odd cents with some batch and just below the dollar. Of course, we had a nice tail up to 170 or so, I think. Maybe even higher, actually, I think it was. Back up to $2.05, not quite as high as the previous all-time highs, etc. But indeed, we're looking like, hopefully, we're moving into a positive area. Let us know what you're doing with IOTA at the moment. Did you take advantage of these lower areas? Certainly ones that we picked out a few weeks ago. Do let us know. And let us know as well how you're getting on with your IOTA staking. Obviously, you don't need to know exact numbers or anything. But certainly just interested to know how it's all going for you guys. Are you still excited? And of course, 50 days from now or so, I wonder what's going to be happening with these Shimmer and Assembly tokens. Very exciting stuff. But guys, I want to wrap that up there. Thank you so much for watching this, and we will indeed see you in the next IOTA video very soon. Bye-bye.